Today I'm making Ratatouille, Confit Byaldi. Alright, before we do anything, preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Now let's start on the sauce. An orange, red, and yellow bell pepper. Now, I'm going to give these a little char, just straight on the oven. Now, I'm not completely covering them in char. I just wanted a little bit of roasted flavor in this today. Cut out the core, take out the seeds, and then just give it a nice chop. Doesn't have to be too fine because it's all going to get blended up. A regular white onion, same thing, just rough chop. And a little bit of rosemary. Get a cast iron skillet, let that heat up a little bit, put on some olive oil. Once that cast iron is nice and hot, we're going to add those bell peppers and onions. Let them just sizzle. Throw on a little pinch of salt, a little bit of pepper. Throw in a little bit of that rosemary, stir it up. Couple tomatoes, couple cloves of garlic, now I know lots of people have this idea that cast iron is complicated. Cast iron is actually really easy to use. All you have to do is coat it in a thin layer of oil, throw it in the oven, let it cool down, bury it in the backyard during a full moon, and then pour out some liquor for its dead homies, and you've got yourself a perfect non-stick surface. Turn the heat down a little bit and throw in those tomatoes. Alright, and for the veggies, we've got eggplant, zucchini, and yellow squash. So, I'm going to take all the vegetables and just cut them into little slices. And this eggplant was a little too girthy, so I just kind of cut off the sides a little bit. those sauteed veggies in blender. Throw in a little bit of olive oil. Okay, pour a nice little layer on the bottom of the skillet. You're gonna take all the vegetables and alternating slices and then just stack them up. And it's okay if the slices are a little uneven. It's gonna look cool in the end. Okay, so I'm throwing on a little bit of garlic, olive oil, salt, pepper, rosemary, Parmesan. Yeah, that's right. You're not supposed to, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta do stuff you're not supposed to do. Okay, once the oven's preheated, pop that in there. Get yourself some fresh basil. I'm going to slice it into thin little strips. And you know, just be careful because basil can be delicate, like my feelings. Once the ratatouille's been in there for about an hour, you should be good to go. Okay, you could cover it in foil, but from what I've heard, heating up foil is not too good for you. And my cousin used to exclusively cook with foil, and now he watches anime, so let that sink in. A million little slices of heaven. Usually you would hide a rat in your chef's hat for this recipe, but as you can see, my cooking is more along the lines of a feral possum. Get 2 little rows of ratatouille, put them right next to each other. Top it off with a little basil. And some olive oil. And a little more salt. And that's it.